Hey parents and students, I wanted to take a few minutes and introduce our textbook to you so you guys can get a good solid idea of how it works and what opportunities having the textbooks is going to provide for the students of our class. First thing I need to show you though is how to get to it. And the best way to get there is to start by going through the gsboe.org website if you're using a computer, just /GSMS for Gulf Shores Middle School, or for the students, just go straight into Clever on their iPads. So from the quick links, they can take and, from Student Life, they're going to click on Student Life and click on Clever, and that'll take you to it from a computer. You're going to search for our school's name, and you're going to pick the middle school, of course, and then we log in using Active Directory, which will be their @students.gsboe username and password, and the password has to have a capital letter. Now, on Clever, there is two different places you're going to see the McGraw-Hill book. The online book, evil, don't touch it. It requires a password and whatnot to get into it, and that's not going to do you any good. But if you go down here under more apps right there and you click on that one will take you directly to the textbook, and when I click on it, it's going to take and show all of my books, which you don't need to see all of my books. You would need to see what the students have. The student will have one book that looks like this, and when they click on that one book, it's going to take them into their textbook. And now we're going to do a quick tour of what that textbook's going to look like. Now this is going to be my 7th grade regular math book, but whether they're doing regular math or advanced math or 6th grade, all of my students are going to be using the same book. So first off, some things to look at is to browse a course, and if we click on the browse a course button right here, then we can go down. Let's look at the lesson we did today, module 2 and then lesson 1, and that's going to take the students to the actual lesson itself. It's also going to take them to how we're taking notes in class now. Now I'm going to take and switch to the student page for just a second, so it's going to look a little bit more like the student's page does. And from the student page, if you go down under reflect and practice, you're going to notice there's personal tutors. That's going to be an extra video of the lesson, a good resource for the kids. Also Spanish tutors for our ESL students. And then right over here is going to be a homework assignment. Now I have to close student view to show you how that works. I'm going to click on that, and then it's going to load eventually. I'm going to click start assignment. And it gives the students the same exact homework questions that they actually have to do for me on the worksheets, only now they can check their answers. So they would type the answer in and check it, and if they need help, they can scroll down, and right here there's an option for them to get some help. So they can check on this. It gives them a hint on how they can go about solving the problem. And if they get just really desperate, it's also going to show them the answer. But if they do the answer this way, it will not give them credit for it electronically when they submit the answer here. So they will automatically mark that question wrong. And at some point, I hope to be where we're actually going to be taking grades occasionally using this method instead of or along with the worksheet method. But the advantages of this, they can check their answers. Along with checking their answers, they can get help if they need it. Now let's look at some other stuff on the textbook. Now the student page is going to look a little bit different than my page does, but it's also going to be very similar to how my page is done as well. And on it, they're going to have an option to launch the lesson down here. Don't use that, because if you use that, it's only going to show them one resource. Instead, they want to use this launch the lesson button up here, and when you click on it, it's going to load up the lesson. Give it just a second. You can see at the bottom how many resources it has down here. You can see which Many of the resources have multiple slide sets here. The kids have been taught how to highlight things using their iPads so they can highlight notes in it, and this is how we're going to take notes from now on. They can take and scroll through the lesson, clicking different parts. We can move on to let's find something a little more exciting here, like exploring percent change, and you can see where they can just take and scroll through, type in answers, check their answers, and be involved in the learning process as they go through this with a textbook. This is also going to be where the majority of the notes are now. We're not going to be doing as many handwritten notes, but we will be supplementing some handwritten notes into this so that they have an idea how to show their work well, because sometimes the textbook falls down on that, and I want to make sure they still have good resources on how to show the work well. Now, one other thing I really want to show you is a quick and easy way for the students to find their assignments and their courses, and that is to simply go right here and click on assignments. And when they do that, it's going to go straight for the different assignments they have, and that's a quick shortcut each night for them to log in and find the place to plug in those answers and test their answers to make sure they understand how everything works. That is it for now. Hope you find this useful, and if you end up having questions or problems with it, let me know and we will see if we can work through them as we continue to learn about this new textbook together. Thank you.